Hello and welcome to Blythe Ray Business News. Today I'm talking to Bob Rosenthal, who is Technical Director of Pantheon Resources. Pantheon listed in London with a symbol of PANR and a market capitalisation of around £160 million sterling. Bob, welcome back on the programme. Now, you, Pantheon, have just raised $29 million. I believe that was actually an oversubscribed fundraise. That's no mean thing in these markets. You've raised $29 million dollars. What's your plans for the money?
Well, hi, Tim. First of all, it's a great result. We had strong support from the investment community. And you're right, we were massively oversubscribed, which showed that we had very strong interest in the project. So to your question, what we're going to do is we're going to drill, complete, and test the Megrez well, which I believe probably is the most impactful onshore well drilled anywhere in the world this year.
I can't let that hang. The most impactful well. Now, come on, you've got to tell us why is it special? Why is it impactful?
Well, first of all, Tim, scale. We're going to be testing 600 million barrels of liquids. And if you include the gas, it's well over 1 billion barrels of oil equivalent. Its location, it sits right next to the Trans-Alaska Pipeline and the Dalton Highway. And because of location, scale, when we run full economics on the full 600 million barrels, the NPV per barrel is $10 to $15 a barrel. Hugely impactful. And I always get a question of, okay, but what's the risk on this? What's the chance of success? Well, for this one, it's about 70%, which is one of the highest I've ever been involved with. It's an excellent reservoir. It's a direct analog to all the recent major discoveries and the current developments that are already on the North Slope, and very different to what's already in our portfolio. Historically, we've had a 100% success ratio in identifying oil from our seismic anomalies, and Megrez is just standout.
You said it was different. That kind of begs the question, how does this well, the Megrez well, fit into the overall portfolio?
So kind of quickly to remind everyone what we have right now, we have 2 discoveries with a total of certified resource of about 2.5 billion barrels of oil equivalent. And by the way, the reason I keep using this, barrels of oil equivalent is we now have the potential for a very major gas project, having signed an MOU with the Alaska government. The first field that I'm going to talk about very quickly is the Kodiak field. It has certified resource of 1.2 billion barrels of liquids and 5 TCF of gas. At this moment, though we have independent expert on the resource, we don't have that on the valuation. And the reason for this, it's a massive project and still needs some very low risk appraisal drilling in the up-dip portion of the field. The second field is the Ahpun field, which is a low risk development with certified and an IER value resources of 360 million barrels of oil and about 1.2 TCF of gas. The Megrez well is an exploration well of the Topset play, which we've already encountered and found to be oil-bearing in Ahpun. But importantly, we're testing a new zone, which is younger and shallower. Now, in the past, we've drilled through this reservoir. We've collected sidewall cores. We have log data through it. But the Megrez well is the first time we're going to be drilling this reservoir when it's in a hydrocarbon trap geometry. And we know from all this data that this reservoir is going to have a couple of orders of magnitude better reservoir rock than anything we've tested before. So to be explicit, this means when we are drilling development wells in this reservoir, we will be drilling and completing these wells exactly like the Horseshoe, Pica, Willow wells which are the huge developments to the west of us. The big difference for us, the location of this accumulation is not miles away from the pipeline. It's sitting right next to the pipeline.
Okay, so I get that. Final question, really. When do you start? When are you going to start operations at Megrez?
Well, things are pretty much starting right away. We plan to put down gravel for gravel pad at the Megrez location, which will give us full year access to the Megrez well. That'll start in September. Once that's done, we're going to be moving a rig and get after it and start drilling the well immediately afterwards. So all things are firing right at the moment, and we're super busy, and it's moving right now.
Well, Bob, thank you for that update. Come back, keep us updated on progress as you start working on Megrez. That was Bob Rosenthal, Technical Director of Pantheon Resources, updating us on this $29 million fundraise, oversubscribed fundraise the company's just completed, and what they plan to do with that money at the Megrez well. That's it for this edition of Blythe Ray Business News. Thanks for watching.